We engage in authentic conversations about our weekly entrepreneurial goals while exploring business, failures, success, and personal growth.
We're going to continue to work and get better at this, so thanks for tuning in.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Our vision will highlight a diversity of guests who are creatives, industry leaders, and individuals creating positive change within our communities. Join us on the Our Vision podcast.
Our shared journey to become better humans.
It's not only our vision, but it's your vision too.
FSU.
So we have Will and Mike with us from Saucemoto. Tell me about yourselves. Like how'd we meet?
I think we met through our friend Dan.
Yeah.
Like we used to just go wherever, be drinking or whatever around town, and then I needed some media or video work.
You guys were doing a Kickstarter.
We were doing a Kickstarter campaign. I needed some video work, and obviously you were the natural
first
choice.
selection. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That was our.
You did a great job too. We were successful on that Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good. It was a pretty good Kickstarter. It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
We learned a lot.
But that's what when I came in to get to know you guys too, because you guys already had known each other for several years before that, and you guys are both from the same hometown, if I'm not mistaken, Sandusky, and then you're from, say it again,
Strongsville.
Mm-hmm. And so that's when I started realizing your guys' dynamics as entrepreneurs, like the amount of work you put into that Kickstarter and the testing, and I think one of the things you were solving was the displacement of heat, if I remember right.
Yep.
And so you had all these very technical ways of measuring that, and then we're also working with filaments that were more pure, so that you could have a good baseline for all the hot ends that we're comparing them to. So and that was my first understanding of like you guys were serious about producing something and making it work. It wasn't just kind of like a fly-by-night thing. So, and I'm sure that's why the Kickstarter was successful. It was successful because of the video production end of it, because we're promoting it, we're provoking emotion. But you also
it
guys,
was pretty fly by night, but we made it work.
Mm-hmm. But you put enough
your guys'
details,
expertise.
You put enough details in there to show other people that it was possible for it to be better.
Yeah.
And I thought that was pretty impressive as entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
What about your backgrounds? Like, how do you guys work together?
Well, we're pretty much like one mind. Really?
No. Absolutely not. Just kidding. No, we do work well together. And then we have some overlap, but then also wait for them. Sorry.
You're good. It's fine.
We have some overlap, but like we both have the same drive and interests, but then we might do things a little differently. But my strength is more visual arts. So like any graphic work or just the design
website,
or sketch of things, website. Well, that's something I just figured out along the way. I wouldn't say I'm good at it, and then Mike is takes care of all that really detail oriented stuff,
technical, mechanical engineering stuff.
You're an engineer,
production,
though, right, Mike?
Yeah, mechanical engineer.
Mm-hmm. So it just made the perfect duo of we had enough skills to get something off the ground. To bootstrap something off the ground. Yeah.
It makes me think though, like one technical, one visual, sometimes especially for technical people, it's hard to see that visual, searching for the right word here, but like the importance of that.
Oh, I see it.
You do see it
though.
Oh yeah. Again, I know I've met some other people.
I beat it into him.
Yeah. Yeah.
The biggest thing here that you bring up, Joe, is trust. I trusted Mike would focus on the right things, and he trusted that I was doing the right thing for whatever discipline we were working on. And we always knew that whatever we had to do, probably at a fault, was we had to do it 100%, 110%, had to be perfect, which which I've now come to learn is, we try to not to do that because striving for perfection is not always the best way to do it. But
when I think
at that time, we were always doing it like, oh, it has to be perfect. And then it took forever to ship. But in that whole, process, we learned a lot about the way we work. And
who is guy who he looks up to is
who's my guy I look up to?
Yeah,
probably at that time it was Steve Jobs. I mean, it was everybody's like, yeah.
And what is Steve Jobs always
he was
strive for?
Probably a perfectionist.
Yeah.
But he knew
the soldering inside. He knew that no one was going to see it, but it had to be perfect.
Yeah.
And I think you brought up a good point, is the trust. I heard the word trust, and like knowing when to step out of the way. And I think, and the perfection thing we can relate to. I know Brad and I have talked about that. And you can't, sometimes that paralyzes you to the point where you're not making steps forward. And it's best to kind of move away from perfection sometimes. Is just, of course you want a quality product, or you want a quality service, but you just have to move forward. Sometimes
that's what I've learned in that perfection now. It's the journey. It's not something that we're going to hit on the first iteration. It's, figure out what's the minimum viable, like what are we going to come out with, get to that, and then realize that, okay, then we're going to make it better each time. But to wait for it to be perfect to launch, although that's what we did, and like we made it work, it was probably not the best strategy.
Live and learn kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's how we took that from that first project in 3D printing hardware. For our second time around with Saucemoto, we did a lot better, and that's what made I think, and maybe looking back, that made it a little bit more successful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you guys began with Pico, which had to do with 3D printing hot ends, and then you moved from that and created some concepts for Saucemoto. Tell us the story of how Saucemoto began.
Sure. It was just literally this, Brad, when I tell you this product it was started as a joke. And here we are now, like, we quit our day jobs, and this is now full time. We were just on a road trip with our partner, Tony, and we got some McDonald's or whatever. We got some McDonald's, and we were just joking, like, oh, if there was a way we can keep our sauce secure when we were in the car, so you could, not spill or whatever. You don't want to dip and drive. We don't condone that.
So you don't have to monitor your dipping.
Yeah. So keep your sauce safe, so to speak, or
safe
saucing. Yes. Then years later, when we got into 3D printing, we built our first 3D printer, and that's one of the first things I designed and printed was the the first version of what would become Saucemoto. At that time, it was Dip Clip, and it just fit one sauce into one. Like, it was just my Ford Taurus vent, and it was a very crude thing, but it was fun. It was exciting. It's like, hey, look at this! I took an idea, put it in the computer, then Bike Week.
Sorry, everyone.
Yes.
Bike Week's going on.
put it in the computer, and then print it out with this machine. And it was like really, really exciting. So that was like the drive. And then it was literally a joke. Then I, started showing people. Everyone was like, oh, that's so cool. I want one. Fast forward to so that was probably 2013. We made the first prototype. Then 2017, our partner, Tony, was really honest. Hey, we really need to do this. We were still working on our second iteration of Pico, our 3D printer extruder or hot end. We were like, okay, let's do this real quick on the side. We'll get it done. We'll do another Kickstarter, and then we'll come back to 3D printing. We were so wrong. Then, we did Mike can get into the development of Saucemoto, but we got that out, went on Kickstarter, and then that just consumed our world. And then we ended up selling the 3D printer business, and now it's been full-time Saucemoto since 2018.
So the Saucemoto, it's a little clip that mounts onto your car vent, right? And then you drop the sauce, like you could have McDonald's barbecue sauce or
ketchup,
Chick-fil-A, whatever, and they'll all fit inside of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Through one shape.
Over 13 different restaurants. Yeah.
I think more than that.
Yeah, over, I said. Yeah, so we got what we call the Chick-fil-A style sauces, McDonald's sauces. They're a little bit more smaller, rectangular.
We went around, got sauces from everywhere we could. And then we figured out, okay, there was generally 3 different shapes we needed to fit. And then we added 4. There was a circle, the small rectangle, which is McDonald's, Burger King, and those. Then there's the larger ones, which was Chick-fil-A and some others. I want to say Popeyes or something.
Yeah.
Then Wendy's had this round sweet and sour.
Lee's has the round sauces too. Lee's.
Okay.
Famous recipe.
then we figured, so we got the general shapes, and then we started playing with, okay, how can we make this all work through one thing? Because originally it was just going to be one or two shapes. And then we kept pushing, like, no, we have to fit more. And then we got the right shape, the right geometry. It was like, okay, with this orientation, we could fit it all. And then we felt comfortable. Okay, we can launch this thing. And yeah.
So it takes a lot of thought. And I think that's part to the engineering, right? Mike, I don't know. Was there?
Yeah.
So is this where you step in to chart?
Yeah, there's exact fitments, tolerances, manufacturing methods, like, how are we going to injection mold this? So all that thought was put into the design side by side with Will.
Right. Yeah. Take it away. Mm-hmm. And the other thing I wanted to ask you, Mike, is like, so these are the differences, right? We're talking about the technical side. How do you guys choose to split those up? Is it just that your aptitude leans more towards creating this or coming up with that number, figuring that out? Is that how you, I don't know.
There's a lot of overlap. There's definitely overlap.
I don't know. Because I see him also, like, even in the creation, like when you created the 3D modeling, like it was something new and you just went through and figured it out.
Oh, we did a 3D render. We did the video render.
So I see a lot of similarities to you guys as far as that goes, as far as being able to.
I don't think we have like a set process of like, you do this, you that. There's probably more now that this is going to be, Mike's going to take care of this. But before it was just like, we were doing everything together. And so that's
cool.
how,
Thanks,
What's interesting to me too is, like, you did the Kickstarter with Pico and Saucemoto, and you've had success with both of those projects. Like, you have. In my eyes, I see you guys have had success. Like, your Kickstarters were both successful.
With the 3D printing, we never made... We came up with a good idea, but we never paid ourselves, right?
Right.
So when I look at it, I don't think it was a success because, okay, we're trying to get financial freedom, right? Like, leave our jobs and do something, that we wanted. So like, that's why, yes, generally, like, yes, it worked. It was a product. It was
the Kickstarter was a success.
The Kickstarter was a success, but I don't look at overall, like, it was just part of the journey for sure.
How did you guys, what was the process and what did you learn from the success that you achieved?
We had a pretty good indicator that we were on something good with Saucemoto. What really convinced us to produce the product was we would 3D print a bunch of prototypes for testing, put them inside our cars, and have our friends and family inside the car, and they'd look at that and they'd be like, what is that? And we explained it, and their eyes just lit up, and they wanted one, and they would take it. And we have to constantly keep reprinting these prototypes because they became giveaways because people actually wanted them. So that was the spark of us knowing for sure we were on a good path to success.
I think selfishly, we just wanted it for ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of was
typically how we do things.
Yeah. It was a development for ourselves. Same with our first business, B3 and the Pico hot end. It was mainly a solution for a problem that we were experiencing personally. And that's kind of what it was for Saucemoto too, is it was a problem that we experienced personally, but we saw that there was a need for it in the actual real world. So I think it's starting off with a good idea to set you up for success. But then it takes, belief in it. You have to really believe in the product. I'll be honest, I was dragging my feet with Saucemoto because I didn't believe in it at first. But then I saw other people believe in it.
This is news to me. Wow.
No, I
did not know this.
I mean, that's why I was like more towards B3 at the time. Like I was, wanted to get that because we had that going. But then, other people were like, no, we got to do this. Like, we have to do that. Our friends and family are interested in the product. Other people will be. So then you got to believe in the product for it to be good. And other people have to believe in it. And then you just got to keep working through it. I mean, we all were working 2 jobs at the time. You can imagine. I was
doing Polaris too.
Yeah, 3 jobs actually. I was doing Polaris too. So you have to put in a lot of hard work. It's a lot.
I think that might be hard too to let go of something. So you're talking about you're working on these other things. You can't. It's hard to have it's not that maybe totally didn't believe in that product. It's just that you're put so much time in over here. It's kind of hard to let go of something and like shift to this product that maybe you don't have as many hours into because it was a joke at first, right? The other thing I heard you say was the journey.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a really important, so while you might have not felt successful with Pico, from knowing you and having conversations off of here too, I think that there's some skills that were developed during that time that have led you to the point of maybe expediting this new business. And, that's kind of exciting too. So while it might not have been financial gain, there was definitely some intellectual gain, or even you were talking about goals, so it's helped you understand, like, it seems to me, back to the goals a little bit, like Brad was asking, like, so are there things that you've learned from both businesses that have helped you now to continually work towards a goal and move the product forward? And I don't know if there's anything that you could.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's helped us kind of see the whole picture, not just, okay, we want to make something for selfish reasons, but also looking at market fit. Like with Pico, we're literally probably just, it was very self-serving. Like these are features that we wanted, but we didn't know, did the market want this? We just had an idea, but we never asked anybody. But yeah, then the second time around, we saw, okay, we would see people's interest in this, and we said, okay, then, so we learned in that approach, like, okay, it's not just, okay, we have to look at the, who we want to sell to and see, okay, what do they want,
Yeah, I might only go to McDonald's, so if I would have just stopped right there, we'd only make the shape for McDonald's. If now we got to make it for 13 or more.
And originally, we were just going to have that one, and my cousin was like, no, you have to do Chick-fil-A. And I remember we were having these discussions. I'm like, guys, we have to make this fit. And it was like this, I had this kind of, not an all-nighter, but a pretty late night. It was 3-4 in the morning, and I was printing the iterations of what would become the aperture design, which is what we patented on Saucemoto, of just overlaying the different shapes, and just did one after that. I was like, okay, we got this shape. Now we made the change, a little tweak, and then printed another one. These are like really quick prints, like 10 minutes prints, and then tested another one. Hey, that fit. Okay, let's try another one. Then we added the third. Hey, we got it. And like, that was a super exciting moment. That was like full like ADHD moment of like full focus to make something work. Yeah. Otherwise, I think we would have launched without that feature. We could have worked, and then maybe we would add it later. Who knows? But yeah, when I want something, I usually kind of force it on. I try to, you try to fight for the things you want. Yeah.
I like your marketing tactics. And I think that was a big part of
really
where you are with Saucemoto. You guys add a lot of humor into your marketing. And I know that's because you guys don't take yourselves too seriously.
Tony does, but
yeah, I know you take developing the product seriously, but when it comes to like,
we just try to have fun
there.
We just try to have fun. Like, it doesn't always work, but most of it worked. Yeah, we got on Shark Tank. We got Shark Tank's attention. They, reached out to us, and yeah, that was.
How was that? The Shark Tank experience?
It was a light, like.
It was a lot of different emotions, a lot of different experiences, excitement, late nights, dreams coming true.
Yeah, it was surreal. Yeah, that was like, it was a dream come true. Like, we knew we wanted to be on one day, but we didn't know how, like what it would be. And yeah, one thing led to another, and it just happened. Like, I look back, I'm like, how the heck did we do that? And yeah.
How much preparation went into that? I saw the episode.
My gosh.
It was hilarious. Did you see it, Joe?
No, I've not yet watched it.
What?
No.
You never saw it?
No. I got you right here. You're going to tell
me
the
story. Pull it up. We're going to pull it up.
I will watch it.
I don't watch it anymore. I can't. I can't. Do you watch it?
No, it's been a while.
Yeah,
I don't listen to our podcast either.
Okay,
once it's done, like, I just like.
But here, we do know how they're going to edit you.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure.
Yeah, but shit. What was the question now?
What was the preparation like building up to Shark Tank?
You're rehearsing your pitch 1,000 times until it just becomes like
muscle memory.
Yeah,
in a way.
Yeah.
They kind of want to ensure, they just made it very clear to us that you should get your pitch down perfect. It's like the biggest presentation of your life. I don't know if you remember presentations back in school, but you sit there and you rehearse it, a couple times before you go into class. This was like on steroids, we practiced it every night for a month straight, pretty much.
Yeah. And then you're iterating as you're going. You're right. Like, okay, how, change a word here or there, or
there's got to be some funny times.
And then there's props.
That,
yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God, I can imagine just stupid shit you say.
We did a video,
having fun with it.
Mm-hmm. What's it called when you for the application? It was a
like a demo video of you, or just like
it was an audition.
Yeah,
audition tape.
Okay, yeah.
I look back at that. I'm like, how did we get past this stage? Because it was terrible. It was awful. Did you edit that?
I don't think I did your audition tape. I did.
You did
a different one for someone else for another woman.
Oh,
for the booties that you guys connected me with, Mishmox, I think it was.
Yeah, that was it. No, I think you edited this. I swear.
I remember you walking backwards with the camera.
We went through the hallways.
I think you did because you didn't say anything to anybody. We
literally did everything they told us not to do. They're like, don't over.
Yeah, you were with me, Joe, right?
Yeah, but I had
Andrew's
it was very
armor
silent.
suit.
Yes, you had
that's what it was.
The what the hell? The Iron
gyro
Man
thing or whatever.
Yeah, the gimbal.
Yes.
The gimbal, yeah.
Yeah, they told us don't overproduce it. Just, use your phone and do a video. We were like, no, we have to make this look fancy.
Of course you guys were.
Yes, of course we did. And I look back at that, I'm like, this is terrible. Very low energy, just weird and super long.
Just weird.
Just very weird.
Just weird.
We did it in one take.
Yeah.
That was a one take, not in one take, but
when it did happen.
No cuts, no edits. Yeah. It was one flow.
One take.
You did? Really?
Yeah.
It was unnecessary.
We might have cut something to make it blend seamlessly, maybe.
The beginning or the ending, maybe.
Somehow, they probably saw something, maybe not in us, but maybe the product.
Yeah,
but eventually.
I don't think I was there, Brad.
Yeah, eventually
it was probably Andrew, so.
Oh, it was probably Andrew at that time.
Like it was happening, but it was all very quiet because you don't want to release that before or as it was happening and all that. So, sorry, I didn't mean. I'm sorry. It dawned on me. I said that. So the other thing too, we talk about we had this conversation before we even got on mics here, is like how we surround ourselves with people. And today I really had a feeling of that hanging out with you gentlemen, and your father was here too, Mike, with us and everything. And we're sitting on the patio and enjoying Dom, and like, you just know when you're hanging out with people that are, in my opinion, like moving forward and they're decent human beings, and they, mostly have your best interests at heart when you're around them, and they want, we want you to succeed and that kind of thing. And that's changed for me over my life. We talked about that a little bit. So does that still play a role with you guys as far as like as you grow as entrepreneurs, like you're searching for people to have maybe some more answers or better marketing ideas, and how are you leveraging that now in your business?
Yeah. So as you get bigger, now you have to pay for that a little bit. So like before you could, count on friends and family giving you feedback. Now, you pay marketing professionals to, do those type of things, but they don't get it right all the time. But I would say if somebody's not supportive, if in your life you don't have somebody supportive or something like that, if you can cut them out. But if it's like family or whatever, you can't cut them out. Just limit your exposure, or don't find that, replace that, right? So like then find somebody who is motivating or like-minded to work with to replace if there's that bad energy or somebody bringing you down. You know what I mean? I think, we met in college and we clicked right away working on projects together. And then it just made sense. I don't think we ever had a conversation like a very formal conversation about what we wanted to do in our future. We just knew we wanted to work on, just make cool stuff.
Natural.
Yeah. We just knew that we just wanted to make stuff, or probably cars, or fast cars basically was our.
So we build off each other's energy every day. So that surrounding yourself with good people, I think Will and I are always like that. So we always have each other, and our other partner, Tony, as well. But to reiterate what Will said, you got to pay for that stuff now. And it's good, right? I mean, that's how you grow. You got to spend money to make money. But I think, there's never enough good people that you could surround yourself with. We were always looking for that. And we were here hanging out with you guys.
Right.
So I feel that's a big part of it too.
And I get what you're saying about the marketing and, and the services that we get. And I think also beyond that, it's sometimes the individuals that we wrap around ourselves in our downtime. It's also the other business owners in the community, and maybe sometimes getting to talk to somebody that's in a similar business, or I don't know. even though it's completely different businesses, we're still running in the same problems that you guys are talking about too.
Always
So I think
Yep.
having those honest conversations, because I fail, there's times today, we left the battery charger last night. We're setting up for this, so we fail too on, I know it's equipment, but you just run into hiccups just like you do, no matter what the business is. So that's interesting too when you talk to other business owners and they're being honest and they're like, oh, okay, you guys are running into that same problem too. Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember early on we went to like an inventors meetup?
Yeah,
we
the
joined an inventors-
local
yeah.
patent association thing.
I look back and I think that those, now we have meetup and things like that. And we started a 3D printer meetup in Cleveland because we used to have to drive to Columbus to go to one. But we made a lot of good connections just from those type of meetups, like hosting them and also going to them, like for the inventors ones. I would tell, like, if somebody, I always recommend that for people to just that's how if you don't know somebody, like, go find them. And that's the place to start.
Well, and that's what I wanted to say to you guys, even though it wasn't successful. Like, you guys were impressive on that too. You were on message boards. Because it was something you were interested in, 3D printing. So I was impressed with that about you guys. It's like you were kind of proactive trying to get your message out there before you were even launching anything. You were still connecting with people and learning and getting to know the thing. So it wasn't like you weren't really asking questions, but you were making yourself known, weren't you?
Yeah, because
before the Kickstarter.
The rep rap community was very grassroots 3D printing, like that, like, early 3D printing when you heard about it in like 2010 and beyond was that small maker movement. It wasn't this big thing. You couldn't go to a store and buy one, not one for like less than $5,000, but here people were building them at home for a few $100s. And so like, that community only existed online in forums and stuff. And then it grew and grew and grew. And then it became a place that you can go and we could be, they started having, physical meetups where exchange of ideas. And that was just, that was pretty life-changing for us because it gave us a direction very clearly that, hey, we're going to, start our careers in 3D printing.
Yeah. And very niche.
Yeah.
Are you guys still a part of the 3D printing world?
We
Community?
have a lot of friends still from there, but I have not kept up with. Have not kept up. Maybe we need to reach back out to a few people.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we used to go to this Midwest Rep Rap Festival. It's on your shirt there. Like that was the shirt that we took to the festival when we launched. We were showing off the next version of our product. And it's like, it's one state over and all these people would fly from all over the world to this little town in Indiana. Like it's nuts. Now it's growing.
No clue though when you first start doing this, right? You don't realize people are flying all over the world to be involved.
We went to the first one. Just happened that it was the first one. But we weren't. These people all knew each other because they were talking online, and we just happened to find out. Oh, hey, there's this festival. Let's go and show our product there. And it just happened to be the first year. That was 2013, probably.
2013,
yeah. It's crazy.
I know we keep going back to the printing, but the only reason we've probably gone back to there is because that's where it all starts. So a lot of the skills, this foundation of working together, the foundation of moving a product forward, the foundation of maybe learning how to set goals and, getting a part of it, like we just talked to community. So now you got a product. How do we as an entrepreneur, how do you connect with a community of people that don't even know that you have a product that is useful and solves a problem? And so I'm sure that's an issue that you're working with right now. Can you speak to that at all and let maybe some new entrepreneurs that have ideas that solve problems of like, how are you getting out to new customers or clients?
It really wasn't a problem for us for Saucemoto at the beginning because it went so viral. not long after we introduced it on Kickstarter, I think within the first week or two, a Facebook publication called Cheddar picked it up, and it got millions of views in the first couple of days. And then from there, it just was a grassroots thing, sprouted like crazy. But with TikTok, we went crazy on TikTok a few years after that. But now it is, we could start to feel the challenge. You have to keep up with social media. Our PR agency is doing a pretty well job of that, creating videos, connecting with our customers, commenting with them. We got more to add.
When I look back, like when we started with B3, it was like we thought, put up a website and start selling stuff. It's like it couldn't be further from the truth. Like you have to get in front of the customer. Like you have to either pay for that or get really creative on how to do that and get people's attention. And luckily, with Saucemoto, we kind of figured it out, or we got lucky, whatever you want to say.
I don't think it's luck. I think you guys. I think you guys are taking steps to move forward and leverage the knowledge that was available to you.
But that's one of those like great lessons of like, people are just like, you don't just put up a website and people just stumble upon it.
Mm-hmm. There was a lot of planning to that. I remember in our conference room on our whiteboard, we had all of these publications that we wanted to make or have us featured on their Facebook pages. And we thought we had to go out and actually get them, but they started coming to us. So we planned it to end up on all those publications. It just happened in a different way.
I think we sent them all samples. Like
we did actually.
Boxed up a bunch of samples and sent them all over.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Like maybe a quarter of them got sent back. Like they never got through the mail room or something. But you just shoot your shot kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, but they wanted content. So once they saw it, they would just ask for permission. Hey, can we share your content? We're like, yeah, absolutely.
Please. Yes. Yeah. So I'm thinking, so now you say this, you see, of course there's a bell to probably any product. There's a peak, it goes off, and then you try to either maintain it or you move on to another product. Have you guys talked, and not that you have to share anything that you're working on now, but I would imagine you're going to diversify something, right? I guess that would be the next natural stage of, if you're seeing a dip or a plateau, that now you can get that under control and maybe move on to another endeavor and see if that doesn't diversify you financially and otherwise. So,
I
don't know.
So we're working on new, what do you say, improvements for Saucemoto, and then products that surround that category.
Okay.
But that's not everything. Like we're not like, we started out in 3D printing. Like we like technology. Like, we don't want to just focus on eating in your car, right? Like, so we have other aspirations, and we're just kind of, we're trying to put a roadmap of what makes sense for us to get back to, when we have an idea for maybe like something that's more technological, that we have, that we can fund that on our own, and get it out there. But yeah, we're working on, I don't know, we're all over the place, like but
we have probably like 5 different products that we're developing right now.
Yeah.
That, hopefully within the next year or so, they'll be coming out.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I forgot how long it took, like the whole process. So before, like we were working on it because we were still working. So everything was part-time. Now that we're full-time, it still takes a really long time, because there's just, these decisions, there's things that just take time. So being patient, but knowing that we're trusting the process and developing the process, putting it on paper. So when we have help with engineering and other things, and we know how we work, but then bringing an outsider in and saying, hey, this is how we do things, actually trying to convey that to somebody and saying, this is our process. Well, we've learned, okay, now we need to get these processes down on paper or whatever, written down, so somebody can step in to our role, whatever that might be, and know, okay, this is the way we do it. Start here and so on and so forth.
That's funny. I listened to an audiobook this year, something processes, because everything's a process. I don't remember what the guy's name is, but his biggest problem was getting the revenue that was coming in from multiple different ways to the bank. That was his problem in one of his companies.
Did he run a phone service. Yeah. I read the same book this year.
And it was really interesting. I'm thinking this guy has trouble getting his money into the bank. He comes back. He couldn't sleep that night or something along those lines. Correct me if I'm wrong. And so he pulls his whole office and says, he asked them what the biggest problem was. And I don't think they all came up with the same thing, but it landed on the list. And he narrowed it down that was the problem. And he said, we're going to figure this problem out. This was like 25 years ago he did this. And he comes with this list, and it's a process. And this is the process. He says, I've never gone to the bank ever again, and somebody else takes care of that. But all the money gets to where it needs to be. And I thought that was interesting. But his biggest thing was the process.
Processes, yep.
Everything's a process.
Runs his whole life. And we're trying. It's really hard because you feel when you're working on that, you feel like you're not moving forward on something else. Like it's not like, okay, I'm not working on a website or working on a new product because you're just working on documenting, but you have to realize like that's really important for growth. Yeah.
What's interesting is you guys just recently went full time within the past year, I would say.
Yeah. For me, last year, I'm coming up on a year and
3 months.
Yeah.
So most of all of this development through the 3D printing endeavors that you guys had in Saucemoto, you guys were working full-time jobs, right? So how were you guys able to accomplish all that while you were working your full-time jobs? Like, how did you manage your time?
If it's truly a project you love, I don't know, did you ever feel like you were missing out on stuff? I think you just put the priority. It becomes, okay, I'm done with work and now I have to go work on this passion. That's what it felt like. Yeah, you gave up some weekends. Like you give up. I guess you'd look back here. We'd still go out every once in a while, right? We didn't give up our social life completely.
Yeah, who needs that?
but we made it. We made a conscious decision. Like, yeah, this is my priority. Oh, I could tell you the anybody I dated during that time, they knew where my priority was because they knew I was focused on that and I wouldn't give them the time of day. And I apologize to all of them. We're all like amicable, but I recognize like, yeah, I wouldn't focus on anything but work.
There's a trade-off.
Yeah, there's absolutely a trade-off.
There's always a trade-off. And that's okay. I mean, it's our choice to do what we want with our lives.
As long as you've made that decision, and you know the consequences, like, yeah, then that's the choice you made.
Yep.
Now I think it's a little different. Like we try to, balance.
Good question.
Some type of balance, which is really, really,
and
that's difficult.
We talk about that. So balance is a hard thing.
Yeah.
Even when you think you have it, things come up. I don't know. Just things come up, right? You think you're
family and everything.
Yeah. It just all kinds of life things happen, and that sends us down different paths for a little bit. And so, the other thing I wanted to ask you guys is, do you see your company growing? You're talking about people coming, adding on. Are you hopeful that there are people that you will employ?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
we got one guy who's working with us. Really, he's kind of just blended right in. He's contracting engineering for us right now. He's doing such a fantastic job. I hopefully could see.
We're not working fast enough for him, like, because he's iterating so fast. Like, we give him a task. We need to figure out, okay, what other things do we need to pass off to other people so we could focus on moving these projects faster. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, and the other thing, like I told you before we got on, guys, is I always find it's interesting. I'm so glad to sit with you today, number one. But the other thing is, like, it fascinates me when people do things that they don't have to do. Because there's a lot of people, not only in this country, but other countries, that do things because they have to do it, not because they want to do it. They feel like they're stuck. And to make a leap, to quit your job, to go through this, and maybe the resources are less or more, depending on what it is. To me, I find that fascinating with the people that I've had the opportunity to meet over the years. And you guys are definitely in that category of doing things because you want to do it. And I think there's a lot of value in life to that.
Yeah, you got to do what you enjoy. It makes you happy.
Yeah, I agree with
9 to 5 job isn't for everybody.
and I don't mean, and Mike, and just so, and I don't know if you and I have ever discussed this. It's fine. You could pump gas for the rest of your life. I really don't give a shit. Do it well. If it's something you enjoy, it's not a big. It's not, to me. It doesn't make you more or less. It does fascinate me though that when people go out and find their own path and kind of carve that out.
The key is for those unhappy people is that no one's going to change that but you.
Right. You
have to make that decision. Okay, I'm not happy where I am.
Yeah.
Then start asking those questions. Okay, what would make me happy, and where would I be?
I've heard people at work, because I've done a lot of different things. I've built ships, I've done houses, I've done block work, I've ran restaurants, I've taught kids with autism, I've blah blah blah. I've done sales, going on and on, right? And one of the things I always remember at work is I hear people complaining about they don't get paid enough. Yeah, everybody's heard this, right? Mm-hmm. But none of them know how to make their own money. So they're asking for more money, or they think they're more valuable, right? And they might be. I don't know their situation, but there's other opportunities out here. We live in a great country where you're allowed to carve out something and go be an entrepreneur and make more, and money is part of it, right? And you can give yourself a bigger raise than your because you guys talked about working and doing your side, what you enjoyed, right? Mm-hmm. And that turned into something that provided money to you eventually. And that's the thing, man. Like you're saying, you can go figure something out in this country and carve out some money. There's your raise. I remember doing a photo gig and being bigger than any raise than anybody's ever given me, throughout the whole year. So when they give me my raise, I'm like, oh, that's nice. Thank you. I appreciate it. But I'm like, I made that last weekend. And this is what they're giving you the whole year. So that's my point, is like, you can make changes, and there's nothing wrong with working a 9 to 5, but there are a lot of people that do not want to work a 9 to 5, and they're intelligent, and they're smart, and they're capable. And I think, I want more people to be able to enjoy life and try something new, you know, and it doesn't have to, you have to quit your job. You can do like you guys did.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's the easiest way is, stay in your job and then do the side hustle.
Yeah. Start to figure it out.
Because you might not start in the right thing, but trying is the key.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the biggest thing you guys have learned through your entrepreneurship journey?
That there are a lot of sauces out there.
There are.
There's so many nuggets.
There's so many shapes.
Biggest thing.
What is your favorite sauce, Mike?
My favorite sauce?
It's a good question, Joe. What's your favorite sauce?
I love buffalo sauce. That's I love a good buffalo sauce. Yes. And barbecues right
Who's
up
got
there.
the best one, do you think?
Okay. We went on this trip to Alaska, my family and I, and there's this bar literally out in the middle of nowhere. You look out the windows and there's bears and moose. It's like, it's crazy. And I forgot what it's called. I wish I knew what it was called. It was in Denali. And they had, and it was award winning. And, it said it on the menu. We're like, okay, we're a small place in Alaska, award winning, right?
Right.
So we get the wings, and my God, it was like a thicker sauce. It wasn't, it was like tomato paste.
Was it glaze? Oh, no.
Yeah, it was like a tomato paste kind of sauce. And I almost want to say that they used tomato paste in there. I don't know. But fantastic.
Delicious.
I got to get back to you on the name. I got to look it up. Yeah.
I really like the Lee's famous recipe bonsai sauce.
I've never
had that.
No.
It's
I'm going
amazing.
after this.
I can't believe you guys have never tried that. The Saucemoto guys have not tried all of the sauces. Yeah.
That's what I said. There's a lot of sauces.
There's a lot of sauces.
Yeah. Then there's just the restaurants we don't have in the area that, we can't try. But
you got to call them.
Yeah.
What? You got to call them.
Lee's?
No, the restaurants that are not in the area. Say, hey, this is Will. I'm from Saucemoto, and I need your sauce. I need your sauce. You need to send me some sauce. And they'll be like, what?
We never tried that.
You should do it.
We never tried that. We just asked somebody local, like in that area, to say, hey, can you go to this restaurant and send us this thing?
Just call their headquarters.
Yeah.
And tell them who you are.
I would travel a lot for work and then
sell them your sauce thing. They just put it in the bag.
Yeah. I would go to restaurants and then clean out the sauce and then just put them in my luggage.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea too. Yeah.
The biggest thing, anything's possible. That's what I think I've learned throughout this entrepreneurial journey. You put your heart to anything and you could get it if you really want it that bad.
Good answer, bro.
And crinkle cut fries are the worst fries.
Yeah.
Crinkle cuts?
Yeah.
Unless they're cooked properly.
Usually
They have to be crispy.
Usually they're not.
No.
They're
Every
not.
fry is
Right.
like
That's
that.
why.
If you were to set aside a properly cooked fry, right, and we're just looking at the shape, the retaining of sauce or ketchup that you dip it in, its crunchiness on the outside, the soft core, all those things, right?
Yeah.
Crinkle cut scores the lowest.
But it should be the highest because it seems like it could scoop it up. But
It has potential.
it has potential.
What's the best fry?
McDonald's.
I know.
McDonald's?
What makes them so good?
I mean,
It
I
makes
don't
me.
know
It
if I
actually
agree with
makes
that.
me go away from. Wendy's has a better hamburger,
Yeah.
but the fries will make me go to
Do you
McDonald's.
ever assemble? Do you ever go to multiple restaurants to assemble the perfect meal?
I have
I do.
not, but
I
that's probably something I should do.
Try it. The hard part is, eating everything
Keeping it
hot.
warm. Yeah.
So you might need to bring like a insulated something.
It's
Yeah. It's an art, Joe.
This is a really good advice, people. If you have not done this is where it's at.
Well,
Oh, shit.
on that note, we're at the end of the hour. So
Wow.
where can people find you guys?
On Amazon or saucemoto.com?
Yeah.
And we'll make sure we'll put a
Couple
link
stores.
in there for you.
We're in stores.
We're in a few stores.
AutoZone, Advanced Auto Parts,
Joanne.
Fabrics. We do specials with a small grocery store called Little Lytle.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
I never know. Sorry guys if you're
When are you-
listening, but yeah.
When are you going to get Saucemoto into the fast food joints?
So
That's like the
That's
that's
what
like-
I was
there
just
are
thinking.
there are a few small chains that have them. Can we say this? We did sell there's a chain out there that is sitting on quite a few Saucemotos that they didn't release them because 2020 happened. So we don't know when it's coming out, but eventually there
keep
will
an eye out for.
Yes.
Coming soon.
It's coming
Yes.
to your air vent soon.
Yep.
Well, guys, thanks for
Thank
joining
you.
us. We appreciate all of your insight.
Thanks
and
for having us.
stories,
Yeah, we really appreciate it, guys. And
your
keep
advice on the best sauces.
moving forward.
Thanks.
Yeah, let us
Thank
know.
you. Yeah.
All right. Thank
Yep.
you. Peace out.
Peace.
See ya.